Good morning, everybody. Wake up.
Wake up, wake up.
In Provincetown. This week featuring
Wake up, wake up.
Can I have some coffee?
Wake up, wake up.
Make it strong, please. Hey. Ho. Hey.
Wake up, wake up.
Ho. No, really, can I have
Wait,
some
keep
coffee?
playing it. I'm not done yet. I'm still
Good morning, everyone.
Spaces. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, August 19th. It is the morning after Carnival. I slept in these beads. Mark said that if they touch the microphone, I'm in trouble. So I'm going to keep them over here away from the microphone where you can't hear them. Can you hear them?
Yeah, I'm sure they can. I'm sure it's annoying.
No, he said to take them off. So anyway,
I hope your carnival hangover isn't as bad as mine.
what do you mean? Why do you have a hangover? What happened?
I actually don't have a hangover. I bartended the underwear party last night, which was wild and lots of fun. So I decided to keep it more tame during the day. But I had a ton of fun. How was your carnival?
Oh my God, it was so magnificent. I have long maintained that the most fun somebody can have on Carnival Day is being on a float. And when I was 25, I did believe that. Now that I'm 43, it's a lot of, you have to pace yourself. It's a lot of physical energy expenditure, emotional energy, just personal energy. You know, you have to be like, yeah, you're having fun, you people in the street, energy up here. You know, you're like a cheerleader for 3 straight hours. Cheerleaders get to sit down.
Yeah, that's true.
On Carnival, you cannot rest for a moment. I danced for 3 hours straight while walking in the street. This was the first year that I was part of a float, but not on the float. I was a wrangler, which is new. Like maybe the last 4 or 5 years, they've had wranglers, 4 people per float to keep people from getting run over.
That's a
and
good
you
idea.
have to wear a shirt that like easily demarcates you as a wrangler.
Yeah. Well, Trevor, I had dinner with Trevor after his long day of organizing the carnival parade. Him and Steven did such a great job organizing a really special day and a really special week overall. But he said his worst fear was that a child was going to get run over.
Oh, come on. We've been doing this for more than 40 years, the PBG has.
It's Trevor's first parade. I understand
I mean,
the fear.
listen. The first time I was ever on a carnival float, if you got run over, it was your own fucking fault. If your dumbass bent over to pick up beads at the last second and your hand got ran over by a tire, boo-hoo, dumb you. Now we need wranglers to keep people from getting run over. Oh my God.
The only time I was worried someone was going to get run over is when the cops were on their 4-wheelers driving down the street.
Also, like me dancing next to the tire, I almost got run over.
Yeah,
My
right.
foot was like so close to the wheel like 4 times, and I was like, that's exactly what this carnival wrangler to have their foot run over.
Right.
But it was really, really fun. So many people. They all looked like they were having a good time. The Raquel float turned out beautifully. I think she would have been really, really happy with it. Really, really proud of us. This is a little cup with Raquel's face on it.
Oh, cute.
Her family and friends really showed up for this. Everybody put so much time and love and effort into it, and I think it showed. You saw it.
Yeah, it was amazing. You were in the paper last week.
That's right. We were on the front page of the Cape Cod Times. I know people keep telling me. I don't get the Cape Cod Times, so I haven't seen it. But Raquel's mom, who started the Raquel Schwallow Foundation, the Cape Cod Times caught wind of the GoFundMe, and then they drove down to interview us about Raquel.
Go kill her.
And they just wanted to get the word out. They were like, we think this is so beautiful. It's such a gorgeous community-minded thing to do for somebody, and we want everybody else to know about it too.
I love that.
I know. Thank you, Cape Cod Times.
Yeah. I have a video of your float going by. Could we play that now? Great. Yeah, it's like the 30-second one. This is 30.
Didn't that look like fun?
Yeah.
Where were you watching it from?
I was at Senator Julian Sears' house on his little like garden.
Like center of town. That's a good spot.
It was like a little more East End than I've ever
Central
watched it
East.
before, and it was nicer because it was a little less crowded. So you could kind of stand right on the edge of the road.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you get to like Crown and Anchor area-ish, definitely to like Boobala's, it's like ass to elbow, and you really do have to wrangle right there, so good on you, PVG.
I didn't see your look. What were you wearing?
So the Wrangler shirt was sort of a turquoise, and it said Monsters, Myths, and Legends. I don't know. I didn't actually read the whole thing. I think it said Carnival Wrangler or something like that. But of course, the people who like gave them to us, Brad from Churro, by the way. Oh, this was so cute. Like once in a while, you meet somebody in like a random personal interaction who's like, "Oh, I love your show." So Brad, who gave us the T-shirts and was checking in all the floats and stuff, he was like, "I moved here in October of 2020, discovered your show right away," and he's like, "For somebody that was brand new, you guys really were like just kind of this fun, guiding light thing where I can like listen and be like, oh, that sounds like that'd be fun to do." And he's like one of those people who gets to work at a job where you can be like, "I'm blocked from 9 to 10."
Oh my god!
Like you cannot call him or interrupt it, and he's like, they just know that I'm doing something, and it's watching your show.
I love that.
Thank you, Brad.
I actually got a few people yesterday come up to me and say that they loved our show and watched our show. So thank you to all our viewers, and I do love when people come up to me to tell me they love my show.
Me too.
Yeah.
But they were like, I was like, are we allowed to like cut the shirt off? As long as we leave the words on, can we cut it into whatever shape we want? So Ori's was turned into a sash, and mine was like Wilma Flintstone. Like just as
Nice.
I was like 2 seconds before the parade started, a little jagged cut, and then shoes and shorts. Cute. I'm sad you didn't see me. I wanted to be on the right side, but Peter claimed the right side, Wrangler position. Peter and
Okay.
Ori were on the right. Timmy and I were on the left. But nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
And fun was had by all.
It was actually a really nice parade. It was kind of. I've been here for, I think this is my 7th summer, and I've seen a few before, but it was the most, from what I've seen, the most like creative, artsy, where in the past I felt that it was a lot of like, just like banks and liquor brands, and which is great. We
There
love.
was still some of that.
Yeah. But even the Tito's float, where they could have had people wearing Tito shirts and throwing out sunglasses. Instead, they had Todd Alsop singing as George Michael, which was really cool. I like kind of elevating artists and creatives.
So Todd sang George Michael for 3 hours on a moving vehicle.
I don't know how.
Good Lord.
I've never ridden a float before. You leave from
Harbor Hotel.
Snail Road. How long until there are people watching?
I mean, there are people there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like the diehards are like what they want to see it at the very beginning. Like Jen White, Michelle White, Jennifer Cabral, they were at the Harbor Hotel. They were the first people being like, "Yay, floats!" So, hi, Brad. Good morning.
Thank you for ignoring your coworkers.
Block that hour, Brad. No, but there's people right at the very, very beginning, and of course it's like sparse, and then it just gets thicker and denser and more. But we took a pedicab out there because we didn't want to have to go back and get our bikes.
Oh, yeah.
And then of course we got there at like 12:15 and doesn't leave until 3. So there's a couple hours of like lining up, registering, getting your Wrangler shirts, going to the pool bar and getting a frozen pina colada with a dark rum float.
A lot of that, I'm sure.
That bartender was in the weeds.
I imagine.
Like you guys. Oh, but then of course, naturally, somebody at the pool bar was like, "Townie secret, there's a bartender inside. It's Scott." They were like, "Just go inside and see Scott." So we go in there, and that's where I ran into Grand Marshal mixed Justin Vivian Bond.
I love that.
And I was like, "Oh my God, you're going to be on my morning show tomorrow." And she goes, "Oh yeah."
I did the same.
She's like, "I did say yes to that. I think that I'll be there." And I was like, "Girl, you better be there."
I ran into them at the Reddit, and I was like, "I just wanted to introduce myself. You're going to be on the show Friday morning." She was like, "Yeah."
I shamefully admit that I had never seen a show of theirs before, and so Wednesday was revelatory for
Oh,
me.
I'm so glad you got to see it because I had to work that night.
It was Mark's birthday. We went with Mark and Rizzo.
Happy birthday,
and
Mark.
I just didn't stop laughing. Almost cried too. Like it's a deeply personal show at the same time, which I
heard a lot,
love.
yeah.
And I can't wait to talk to her about that because some life choices were revealed.
I have a picture of me and a few friends. I wanted to show you my costume. I was Bigfoot.
Oh, I didn't see the Bigfoot. Let me see. Is it on the screen, Andrew? Is everybody else looking at it?
See?
Did people get it?
I
Did
was
they
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Oh, you were a Bigfoot. You're so dumb.
It was kind of a 50-50 split. A lot of people were like, what are you? And other people were like, Bigfoot! But it was very 50-50. The foot fetishists were really telling on themselves yesterday. It was a lot of that. People are like, are you a foot fetishist? I'm like, no, but it seems like you are.
They're like drooling at
I'm
you.
like, I don't necessarily see a foot and assume it's a fetish. Right.
Oh boy.
It would have to be a very big shoe for it to fit. But in this picture is also... But in this picture is also Benji dressed as Swamp Thing, our friend Mikey dressed as like a little elf, a woodland elf. And then one of my favorite costumes of the day was my good friend Sunny. He went as a pup Cerberus. And I feel like it checked all the boxes. It was campy, mythological, gay.
What is Cerberus?
Cerberus is the three-headed dog that guards the gates
Oh,
of hell.
that's one person.
Oh yeah, and then he has. It's the
I was
three-headed-
like that. There's like 5 people in this picture.
No, just Sunny.
Mikey's an elf.
And then Benji was like a Swamp Thing, and I was Bigfoot.
Cute. That's very fun.
I did hear there was another Bigfoot, and I didn't realize there was another Bigfoot in the way that I did Bigfoot, and I only realized at the very end when I heard people passing by me and go, another foot. And you could tell they were like so confused, like, why are people dressing up as feet?
Another foot.
Yeah, but Sunny's was one of my favorites of the day. Another one of my favorites was Benoit. I have a little picture of him from Tea, and it was obviously I ran into him at the beginning of the day, and I was like, wow, that's such a cool costume, but I didn't quite get how cool it was until I saw him at Tea Dance, because there's this sea of people at Tea Dance, and then like over the top you just see like this dragon head. It was really,
That's
really
fun.
cool. Yeah, such a clever idea. He looked really great. Really cool costume.
Hat Sisters?
Yeah, a couple of people dressed up as the Provincetown Legends, Hat Sisters.
OMG. Remember Tuesday? So much has happened this
Let's
week.
talk about Carnival more. We'll get to
Okay.
that. Yeah. Did you feel like there were any costumes that you saw not too much, but a lot of? What were the most worn costumes?
I didn't see any costumes.
Okay.
I was keeping people from getting run over by an 18-wheeler.
I made a list of the contests of the costumes that I felt like I saw a lot of. I think the number one was definitely Cookie Monster.
Oh, there were a bunch of Cookie
A lot of Cookie Monsters. A lot of Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Really?
And I feel like what those people realized that it was that, do you know that show?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like the age range in which people know that show is so narrow.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was with Sonny, who is 4 years younger than me, and he was like, what are you? So like all those people.
He didn't know that?
Yeah, I feel like you have to be like, there's a 10-year span of like 35 to 45 where you know it and otherwise you don't. Other ones I saw a lot of, which was, I'm wearing gold. A lot of those.
Just gold?
Yeah. Or another costume I saw a lot of, I have horns on.
That's monsters.
Sure, yeah.
You had a foot on your face.
Okay. A lot of legendary legend stars in reference to RuPaul's Drag Race, and also a lot of Pokemon, which they're monsters.
Yeah.
But there's also a classification of Pokemon called legendary Pokemon, and I didn't see any of those, which
Sounds
was a
gay.
bummer.
Why wouldn't you do
It's
that?
super gay.
They should have been that.
Yeah. But I mean, I did say this to someone who was a Pokemon, they were Pikachu, and he's like, you gotta be something recognizable, no one would know what you were if you dressed as one of those. And I'm like, the diehard nerds would.
Well, you know, like everything, Carnival is a competition, and they haven't yet announced who won what. But there's prizes for best large float, best small float, best overall float,
Best walking float.
best self-propelled.
Yeah.
Is that walking? Is walking self-propelling?
I think walking counts as self-propelled.
And
Or
best,
like a bike.
Individual person.
Yeah.
There's like a litany of awards to be given out later today. The PBG has not publicly or formally announced the winners. Have you heard any rumors?
But speaking of floats that may or may not have won a prize, let's show another video I took of my good friend Ben Weinrib Grosskull's float. It was the Bay State Cruises float, and it's super cute. Here's a video.
Do you want to take a ride? Let's come. Let's go.
How are we gonna get on it? They're not gonna stop. It was so great.
So can you tell everybody, Harrison, what you just told me while they were watching that video?
Bob was like, why did Benji do Bay State's float? And Trevor and Steven and the PBG did this really cool program where they connected a lot of businesses who might not have the time or I don't want to say they wouldn't have the creativity, but like just might not be able to put a float together themselves. They paired them up with a lot of different artists in town. and they put a float together. So, like I said, Benji paired with Bay State and made this really cool float. But I think that is in large part the reason why what I noticed, which was a lot of really fun, or a lot of creativity. I think it really made the parade really special. Josh Wilmuth did the PBG's float, which was this big bed with monsters coming out, which Justin Vivien was on it, waving from the top. It was super cute.
Izzy did the float.
Izzy did a float. Yeah. Oh, definitely. But it was really, really awesome. I think that's all.
It's not all we have to say about Carnival. We have a couple of rants. So I told you I took a pedicab from my house to the start of the Carnival parade, and
was it the guy dressed as a tiger?
No, the lovely young man, gorgeous gentleman, but the music that he was playing on the if you can't play it in a restaurant, you shouldn't be playing it on a pedicab. It was literally F this, N-word that, and I was like, why am I hearing this right now? Like, this is totally inappropriate. I don't mind. I listen to it in the shower and I sing along, but. Like, there are people with kids who would not appreciate that pedicab ride. Like, literally, every curse word in the book on a pedicab while I had angel wings on my lap. It just felt, there was a disconnect, is all I'm saying. Maybe I should reach out to the owners of the pedicab business. You have a rant yourself.
I'm going to start, if we're reaching out to the owners of the pedicab, like, can they not be on their phones while they're
like picking up fares is what it is.
Yeah.
You think they're like taking selfies and Instagramming? They're reading?
Or watching TV.
While they're driving?
Yes.
Worse than the F and N word on a pedicab ride is them possibly killing somebody because they're reading off of their phone.
I feel like, pedicabs definitely because it's a business, but like anyone, yesterday, I am the king of yelling at people on the street, and people are like, oh my God, I saw you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm not embarrassed. I yell at people when they're acting a fool and putting people in danger. A few weeks ago, someone was on Champaign or on the wrong side of the road biking at me, and it was right by Stop and Shop, and there was like all this confusion and chaos because this person's biking at us while there's cars and other ones. Yesterday, I was crossing over to CVS, and there was a woman FaceTiming someone while biking down Bradford. Crazy.
I've been her. I mean, you know.
Don't do it.
You host a morning show. You can't be screaming at people in the street.
Yes, I can.
You have to be nice.
If they come for me, I'm like, I'm Harrison Fisher, so wake up in
good
Provincetown.
Lord.
Look me up. Hit subscribe.
What are you going to say about the bees?
Oh.
I want to know.
I feel like it's crazy that in 2022, we're not allowed to use plastic straws, but people are throwing literal soon-to-be garbage by the handfuls off of floats.
You call this garbage?
Yes, I do call it garbage. From start to finish, these beads are bad for the environment. They're literal plastic trash. They are made to be trash.
I love them.
No, trash.
Or trash.
I'm going to figure out how to ban them. I mean, I initially had this frustration after the 4th of July parade when I went for a walk the next day, or it might have been later that day, and someone was throwing out those
Plastic candy.
Yeah, those lifesaver mints, and the commercial street was just littered with the wrappers. Like, stop throwing things from floats in general, let alone plastic garbage. And I was that person where the floats are going by and they're like, yeah, throwing a beads. I'm like, stop throwing out beads. We live by the ocean.
Well, my float wasn't throwing beads, but I caught a few, and I'm going to keep them.
There was a float, I think it was the vault float, handing out bandanas.
Grinder.
The grinder float was handing out bandanas.
Which is a great idea. It's something people might use where no one is using these except for Bob to mess up his microphone on our morning show.
I have a string from 2007 because that was my first float that won Best Overall Float. I'm just going to say this. I've been on exactly 8 Carnival floats. 4 times have I been on the overall winning float. This would be my 5th. And PBG, if you don't pick the Raquel float, we know where you live.
Trevor. So stop throwing plastic garbage into the streets of Provincetown 15 feet from the ocean.
You know what, too? I have to say happy anniversary to Peter Sullivan. Yesterday was our 15th anniversary.
Right.
15 years.
I love that.
I know.
So you'd celebrate on Carnival every year?
We do. And people are like, oh, is that the day you met? I'm like, no, we met a year before that Carnival. So for like a year, we were just friends.
As we do.
And then on that, we met in September, and then on our first Carnival as friends, we were like, let's really make a go at this. Let's be a couple starting today.
That's so cute.
And so that is our anniversary.
I love that they throw you a parade for your
Every
anniversary.
year a parade, and sometimes we win a prize.
I love that.
This is Peter's first float. No, he was on the Red In float in 2015. But like as a wrangler, it's a tough, you're like having to do stuff. Responsibilities on Carnival. Good times.
I don't know if everyone saw, but the last float is always the announcement of next year's theme. Next year's theme will be Land of Toys.
Who decided that?
I don't know, the PBG board.
Yeah.
I'm
Do you already have ideas?
I don't know what the plan for that day is going to be. I might have responsibilities.
Oh.
You know, I might do a float or who knows. But I have a lot of cute ideas. I can't wait to see 1,000 dudes dressed up as butt plugs. We get it.
You're already looking on the bad side
No,
of things.
I have fun looking on the bad side of things, which makes it a good side. But I'm excited for that theme. It's going to be cute.
Okay, so back to Tuesday.
Okay.
Or back to last weekend.
Well, how was your show?
Oh my God, that happened this week too.
I know.
It's been a really long week.
Yeah.
On Sunday, August 14th, I had my Post Office Cabaret show, which was super fun. Really raucous crowd. Like it wasn't completely sold out, but everybody there was like really, really loud and like jamming out. And, you know, there's a lot of audience participation in the show, and
There was a
people
lot
were
of audience
participating.
participation.
Yeah, you heard them. Yeah, I mean, if I weren't me, I would have said a couple of those people hijacked the show.
No.
But I'm me, so I'm saying that they had fun.
Borderline hijack.
No, it was really good friends of mine, and I was happy that they. I mean, one of them I pulled up on the stage,
Yeah.
and she won a gift card to Strangers and Saints. Fun was had by all once again. It was a really good time, and of course, you know that whole day leading up to the show. I don't know how you are day of show. If it's, I mean, I'm doing
Nervous.
If I were doing the same show every time, I would have memorized it by now. But because I'm doing something different every time, I spend all day Sunday being like, this is a total stress fest, and I'm not doing this again. And then after the show's over, I'm like, okay, I'll do one more.
Yeah.
But it's this constant, like, I can't do this anymore because it's so stressful, and I'm afraid.
It is honestly such an. This is the first one I was able to see because I used to work Sunday nights and I work Sunday brunch at the Red Inn. Come say hi. So I have Sunday nights off. So I got to see Bob's show. It was really incredible. It was like I'm just gonna like list the things that are involved in the show. Bob does 3 parody numbers. There's 2 live performances, 3 live interviews, 2 live game shows. Like it is so much fun. You gave out 300 doll hairs to different restaurants.
To one person.
Yeah.
Like somebody won $300 worth of restaurant gift cards, one person.
Yeah.
So it's a talk show, it's a game show, it's a comedy show, it's a live music show, it's every kind of show that I love rolled up into one. And there's one more on September 11th. You can get tickets at postofficecafe.net. Should stop playing with these, they're making noise, right?
Yeah.
Postofficecafe.net, September 11th, Sunday night. That one's at 9 p.m. because, you know. You can?
Yay.
Perfect.
But it was a killer show. He had 3 different guests come in. Cherie, who was outrageously amazing. She appeased Bob and sang.
Didn't We Almost Have It All? So Cherie does the Whitney Houston vocal show in town. She alternates it with an Adele show. And when I went to the first Whitney show last summer, I'm a Whitney scholar. I should get paid to talk about Whitney Houston in an academia setting, like a graduate course in Whitney. So I'm sitting there going, Mike Flanagan, if she doesn't do Didn't We Almost Have It All, this is not a Whitney show and I want my money back, and I'm gonna file a formal complaint with the estate. She didn't do Didn't We Almost Have It All, and I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? And so when I started this nighttime talk show, I was like, Mike, can you get Cherie to be a guest on my night show? And please, 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 can she do Didn't We All? I understand that it's the hardest song to sing. That's why she doesn't include it in an hour of singing Whitney. But if you're only singing one Whitney song, then you can do the hardest one, right? That's how I felt. And so they showed up and Mike was like, she's not going to do the whole song, but she'll do one chorus. The chorus is like 2 minutes long.
Right. It felt like a whole
It's
song.
basically the whole song.
Yeah.
So thank you, Cherie. I love you so much. It was so beautiful. And then she did a whole Adele song too. Thirsty Burlington sang.
Every time I see Cherie, her voice is even better than I'm shocked again by how amazing her voice is. Like I never remember it as, you can't remember it. Something can't exist in your brain as amazing as that is.
Right.
But like you said, Thirsty performed, and Thirsty is one of those performers where I'm just like amazed and just like starstruck. It's just amazing. It's
She
incredible.
looked phenomenal,
Yeah.
incredible, sounded great. Joey Soloway did a stand-up set.
Very fun.
super funny. It was like, yeah, it was a great night. Thank you for being there.
It was awesome. I was so happy to be there.
And we do have one more, so I'm glad you can come to that one.
Get tickets now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, on Tuesday, the first ever Hat Sister Happy Hour at the Red Inn. We were celebrating Tim and John Michael, and I mean, I don't have any pictures of that, do you?
I have a video.
Does he have it?
Yeah.
Are we looking at it right now?
Let's play that.
Welcome to the Red Inn.
It was such a fun day at tea. I think at Hat Sister Hat Sister Happy Hour. I keep calling it Hat Sister Tea. It's not. It's Hat Sister Happy Hour. But I think we're gonna try to do it as a yearly thing.
This should definitely be an annual thing.
It was tons of fun. People really turned out. It was really fun to see them all there. It was organized by our friend Patrick Lemerson, who is the front desk man at the Red Inn.
Jack of all trades. Patrick
Yeah.
does everything there.
If you-
MVP.
He does. If you ever see the place like decorated to the nines, it's Patrick. If you're ever at Carnival yesterday, he was dressed as like a fawn. You'd say. Is that what that
That's
is?
a fawn.
He looked super cute. His makeup was incredible. He's always dressed to the nines at Fag Bash, Gazelle Shaft, all those things. So if you ever see him, say thank you for doing all the stuff. Yeah, but it was a really fun day, and I think they raised a bunch of money.
Excellent.
Or yeah. What else do I got?
Wilton Manors.
Oh yeah,
You
I
guys-
didn't take notes on that.
You didn't? You don't need notes. I have all of them
Great.
in my brain. 2 days ago at a gay bar in Wilton Manors, Florida, aka, the Fort Lauderdale area, a man walked in and put a grenade on the bar and threatened to kill everybody. And then he told them all that he had a bunch of guns in his car too. Can you believe that?
Nope.
What would you do if somebody put a grenade on top of the bar?
Walk out?
Really?
If it's an option?
Walk? Bitch, I would be running.
I wouldn't want to incite that person.
Well, the bartender was interviewed by the local news, and he was like, I was just like closing checks, or he was like trying to act like nothing. He was like, I'm clocking that people are slowly leaving, and I'm like just kind of trying to buy time. And then one of the patrons, this is how we know maybe there is a God or there's a something up there. One of the patrons, this gay former Marine, comes over to the guy and is like, hey, like bonding over weapons and shit, and is like, let's get out of here, let's go somewhere else together. And then as soon as he gets him out the door, tackles him to the ground, and then the police swarm.
Love
So
that.
thank you to that Marine. But I'm like, how lucky for everybody that person happened to be in the bar that
Yeah.
day. Because if it was full of people like me, running, screaming, bedlam,
Right.
I'm not that person who's like trying to have a hero moment tackling somebody with a grenade in their hand. Sorry guys, I'm not saving you all, I'm saving me.
Also, he's a Marine, which is great, but like it still takes endless amounts of courage to do something like that.
Andrew could have done it.
Oh yeah.
Andrew would have saved us all. I would have been 10 blocks down the street already telling other people what happened. Like, girl, there's somebody with a grenade down the street.
Oh my
I'd have
God.
been out of there so fast. But I mean, it just goes to show that Florida is a shithole country and you're not safe anywhere. Right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's one of those shithole countries that the former president used to always talk about, right? Beware
Yeah.
is what I'm saying. If you live in Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, beware everywhere you are.
Yeah.
I mean, there were bomb-sniffing dogs at the carnival lineup.
That's great. I love to see things like that because of the world we live in at this moment. I think it's smart to take precaution. I think it's smart to stay vigilant.
Totally. I'm just glad that those bomb-sniffing dogs couldn't smell Jaeger bombs or magic mushrooms.
Great. There's a really great art show up at Spiritus. It went up last night. It's up through the 31st. It is Sofia Cabanas' show. She is a lovely sandwich maker at Poppin' Dutch. But the show is really cute. It's called I Like Your Package.
Oh.
I think it's food themed based on the flyer. I haven't gotten a chance to stop in and see
It's
it.
not Paul Rizzo themed?
That was
Oh,
off,
you didn't show that on the screen.
that was off camera.
Oh, he has it. He has it.
Oh,
Andrew
okay.
has it.
He does, okay. Could you show that picture of Paul Rizzo's package?
It's not a Paul Rizzo's package.
Oh,
But I saw a lot of people dressing up as other Provincetowners, and one of my favorite ones that I got to see was our friend dressed up as the lovely, legendary Paul Rizzo.
So that's our
Super
friend
cute.
Aaron dressed as Paul Rizzo, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful,
Super
super, cute.
cute.
Congratulations, Rizzo.
Yeah.
People are dressing up as you. for
Imitation, the
Carnival.
greatest form of flattery.
Seriously.
I also saw a crew of Dina Martinez. Really
And
cute.
each one was different, right?
Yeah, everyone was like on like someone had the turkey costume on. It was really cute. And I saw a couple people dressed up as the Hat Sisters, Provincetown legends.
I was going to be Ellie, but I couldn't find a radio flyer wagon or a see-through negligee.
You couldn't find a see-through negligee?
It's just an Ellie joke. I think Ellie probably died before you got to town.
Oh.
Ellie was like a 73-year-old showgirl, like who was, pulled a wagon, sang like in a kind of a baritone, like classics.
Oh,
like
I
would
love
sing
that.
Frank Sinatra in front of town hall, long blonde hair, see-through negligee. That first summer that I was a cocktail waiter at Showgirls was the summer that Don't Ya by the Pussycat Dolls came out. Ellie was up there like swinging around, singing Don't Ya, and I was
I love that.
I was like, where am I? Like, where else on earth could this possibly happen?
Yeah.
The answer to that is nowhere. Only in Provincetown.
Provincetown is not having good luck with their sewer issues lately. Obviously, last week we had some sewer issues in town. After the show here last week, I had the day off because the restaurant I was supposed to work at was closed due to the sewer emergency. But Bob got to work his favorite day ever
Last Friday,
at the Red Inn.
it was literally the busiest day of all time that the Red Inn has ever had. One of those days where you're just like, keep your head down and keep going and don't stop moving. And then 12 hours later, they're like, you're done. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that went quickly.
There were only a few restaurants in town trying to feed the entire pre-carnival population of Provincetown, which
Yeah.
is rather large. I talked to a few other people at restaurants that were open that day. Liz's, I talked to Chuck, said it was wild. He said that he sent the numbers to Liz, and Liz was like, oh, your numbers are wrong, they're way off. And he's like, no, they're not.
He's like,
That's
"This
how
is what
busy we
happened."
were.
Our friends who worked at Max that day said they set records,
Yeah.
record-breaking numbers at Max.
But you also said that the guests were like, cool.
Ours were super cool and patient. I don't know that that was everyone's experience, but
Oh.
when they walked into the Red Inn and Sean was like, you guys, it's a 2-hour wait for the bar, like not a minute sooner. And they were like, we don't have anywhere else to go, so I guess we'll just drink outside for 2 hours. People were just like, this is what it is.
Yeah. The Red Inn also has great accommodations for waiting.
Right.
You can sit outside on the Adirondack chairs, have a titini or 5.
Right. You can stand outside and stare at the bay for 2 hours and get hammered.
Yeah. But in our continued sewer issues, this is an unrelated sewer issue, but another sewer issue. Stop and Shop was closed for a good portion of yesterday due to some sewer issues, but I did bike by this morning on my way here and saw that there were tons of cars in the parking lot, so I'm going to assume they're back open, up and running.
Wow, the sewer issue affected our only grocery store?
Yeah.
Harbinger of doom.
Okay, a couple news stories. Airbnb just...
Boo.
Yeah, right. They just announced that their party ban went into full effect this past June. Basically, they have a ban on parties. I'm not sure exactly how they define that, but maybe like more than the people that are staying in that
Right.
place. But they have developed anti-party technology. Their words, not mine. It's a new system that analyzes a variety of factors, according to a company announcement Tuesday, including previous reviews, how long a user has been on the platform, the length of the stay, and whether the rental is occurring on a weekend or a weekday. I feel like there's guaranteed to be discrimination within this anti-party technology, but the guests that are deemed to be high risk are still able to book hotel rooms and private rooms with their homes because they assume that there's more of a chance that the host will be there and they won't know to throw parties. They have said that there's been a 44% year-over-year decrease in party reports, and a permanent ban on parties went into effect on in this past June.
Well, I mean, as you know, if you live in an association where one or two of the units is Airbnbs, you don't want them like wilding out
Oh,
while
totally.
you're like trying to go to sleep and get ready for work.
Yeah.
So this is an effort to appease neighbors, it sounds like.
Well, I
if
think
you
they're
were one
also-
of those neighbors, would this appease you?
I am one of those neighbors.
I mean, so you're happy about this?
No, I mean, I don't think it's going to stop anything in the, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's really going to stop anything, but I think, like, yeah, don't throw parties, but I think they've been having a problem where people are renting homes just to throw parties.
Oh, sure.
Like,
Yeah.
they'll rent a giant house for one night, invite 300 people over, trash the house, and be gone.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think that's more specifically what they're trying to curb, but, like, definitely that as well.
I mean, if you are a landlord, you might want to consider renting your unit seasonally to a worker or year-round to a resident.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. No. Another story that happened. If you watch season 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race or season 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars, you might be familiar with a drag queen named Chanel. She is a legendary Las Vegas drag queen and really incredible queen on RuPaul's Drag Race, but she is going through a little drama. She had a show at Senor Frogs in Las Vegas this past week, and she did this bit where she picked up a woman's purse and kind of used it to collect tips, walked around the room, and then took her money out and gave it back to the woman. And there's a video of it happening, and the people at the table are all like, haha, fun, she has your purse. And then when she gives back the purse, the woman is like, you can hear her saying, I had hundreds of dollars in here. So she alleges that Chanel put, the tips went in the bag, then she pulled out all of the cash, including allegedly $700 to $800 in cash that this woman had in her bag.
I mean, I don't have a purse, but I have a merce, and I don't carry loose cash in it.
When you're on vacation,
Cash is in the wallet, and that's in the merce.
I mean, when you're on vacation, who knows how much money you want to carry and travel
$800?
around.
Sheesh. Oh, this is Vegas.
Yeah, it's
though.
Vegas, you know what I mean?
She might have just cashed in some chips.
Yeah.
Well, then the drag queen can easily just give her back $700.
Well, the drag queen came out and said that, like, that didn't happen. My total tips for the entire night don't equal the amount that this woman alleges that she lost. The woman also alleged that when she became upset, the drag queen berated her until she left.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I'm still taking the side of the drag queen.
Great. She's the
Is this a not taking sides news story?
Yeah, who knows? It's a he said, she said. But the club itself did reimburse her the amount of money that she said was missing and also refunded her ticket to the show. But the woman is now suing for further damages. Specifically, what something listed was a costly cabana that she had rented that night that she was unable to use because of the drama.
This person sucks. They already paid you the money you said was taken from you and refunded your ticket price. What, you said not to take sides?
Yeah. But also, like, don't touch other people's purses.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
But in the drag queen's mind, it was a funny drag queen bit.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But don't do that.
You are taking the woman's side.
I'm not taking sides. I'm taking the side of acting right.
For a change.
Should we show?
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys, so Seth Sikes is a phenomenal singer. His show Broadway Babies is this week. And this is, clang, clang, clang with a trolley.
We love.
Like he did a trolley video that he shot entirely in Provincetown. And here it is to give you an idea of what you can expect at Seth's show. Take a look.
With my high starched collar and my high top shoes and my hair piled high upon my head, I went to lose a jolly hour on the trolley and lost my heart instead. With his light brown derby and his bright green tie, he was quite the handsomest of men. I started to yen, so I counted to 10, then I counted to 10 again. Clang, clang, clang went the trolley. Ding, ding, ding went the bell. Sing, sing, sing went my my heartstrings. From the moment I saw him, I fell. Chug, chug, chug went the motor. Bump, bump, bump went the brake. Thump, thump, thump went my heartstrings. When he smiled, I could feel the car shake. He tipped his hat and took a seat. He said he hoped he hadn't stepped upon my feet. He asked my name, I held my breath. I couldn't speak because he scared me half to death. Chug, chug, chug went the motor. Plop, plop, plop went the wheels. Stop, stop, stop went my heartstrings. As he started to go, then I started to know how it feels when the universe reels.
The day was bright, the air was sweet. The smell of honeysuckle charmed you off your feet. You tried to sing, but couldn't squeak. In fact, you loved him so you couldn't even speak.
Buzz, buzz, buzz went the buzzer. Plop, plop, plop went the wheels. Stop, stop, stop went my heartstrings. As he started to leave, I took hold of his sleeve with my hand. And as if it were planned, he stayed on with me, and it was grand just to stand with his hand holding mine to the end of the line.
So you're going to have two chances to see Seth Sikes this week do his show Broadway Babies. Check him out. He's so sweet and so talented. And now, please welcome to the show this year's Grand Marshal of the Carnival Parade, Justin Vivian Bond. Hello.
Thank you for having me here.
Good morning.
I wore my florals. I was watching you in the hotel room, so I was like, I better wear something floral too, because I like to fit in.
Thank you. I think you like to stand out.
Well, okay, thank you.
No, so I was just saying to everybody, I'm ashamed to admit that I had never seen you perform before Wednesday, but I was lucky enough to get to go, and it was amazing.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was fun. It was a great night. I love that venue. I'd never even been in Town Hall before, and it was beautiful, and everybody who worked there, the staff was so on it, and I just felt, cushioned by love that night. It was really nice.
It's a really beautiful space.
It is.
And you were saying this is your first carnival?
My very first carnival, yes. I've been here for Bear Week. I've been here for Family Week. Just kidding. But I've been here lots of times, but it was my first carnival. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
I loved it. I mean, it was so great being on that float because I just got to see everybody, and everybody was all dressed up and so happy and enthusiastic. It was really, amazing. And also because I was on a float that was so high, I was like looking in people's windows like a peeping Tom and seeing people sitting in there alone and waving and stuff, and it was really sweet.
Yeah, not a bad way to experience your first carnival as Grand Marshal.
Yeah, exactly. And you really I didn't get to see all the floats though,
Right.
but I did get to see all the people, and that was fun.
And you were saying that you were here for New Year's of 18 going into 19.
Yes, it was the best New Year's of my life. I had so much fun at my friend John's house, and we had a fantastic weekend. And actually that weekend, Dina Martina was performing and she was sold out. So I was like, can I come see your show? She's like, well, if you operate the spotlight. So I was like, okay.
No.
So I went in and I was the spot op for Dina's show, and Gwendolyn Christie, the actress, she was there with me feeding me margaritas. And I was really tempted to just have the follow spot literally follow her, but I decided to be a professional. And I kept the spotlight on her as much as I could. She doesn't really move that fast.
Oh my god. God. But you also said that ended up being the best year of your life.
It was such a good year. You know, everybody kept complaining, oh, I hate 2019. Can't wait for 2020. Well, but I did have a good year that year. I did a lot of performances, and I went and starred in an opera in Vienna.
Amazing.
I was in Vienna for a few months, and I don't know, it's just a glamorous, exceptional. I had an art show. I think that was the year I had an art show here. I can't remember. I just remember it was a great year. And then the next year, you know, was even better.
I have
2020.
I have to tell you a funny story about the first time I ever met you. So I didn't actually meet you. It's the first time you and I ever had an interaction. We were, well, I was, on Wednesday, I was like admiring your shoes because they were tall and beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And so once upon a time, I was at an after hours party at a mutual friend's house, sitting on the floor watching, listening to somebody play piano. And that door between the piano room and the outside was being propped open by this gorgeous shoe. And I'm sitting there watching the person play piano, and I look over and I see the shoe, and I was like, ooh, and I reached over to grab it, and you, out of nowhere, swooped down into my face, and you said, don't even think about it. And I was like, is that yours? And you're like, yes, that's my shoe. And I was like, I've already thought about it, but I won't think about it anymore.
Drop that thought.
I love that. So it's nice to really meet you finally, all these years
I'm glad
later.
I intimidated you right away.
Don't even think about it. I'll never forget it.
Joan Rivers' book was Enter Talking. Mine can be Enter Bitching.
Well, you didn't need my ugly old foot trying to cram itself into that shoe, and that's what I was thinking.
It
I was
must
like,
have been a nice shoe if I was even going there.
Yeah, you were like,
I have a
don't.
lot of trashy shoes. Those ones the other night, they were $65 on Amazon. But, you know, I've got some expensive ones that I don't just let anybody try on.
Is it okay to get a little personal?
We'll find out.
So at your show, one of my favorite things about your show was how deeply personal you get. You were talking about when your father was really sick, and I love that you turned it into a joke. You told your sister, you're like, there's blackout dates. I have a lot of shows. He can't die between March 15th and April 29th. Like, he's not allowed to die during that time.
Right.
And you said he did.
Of course he did. Our whole life was a fight of wills, you know, a contest of wills. So he just died right in the middle of it, you know. But I did this show with Carol Channing years and years ago, and we were sitting trying to think about what to say, and I asked her about something, and her friend goes, oh, but Charlie, or whatever her husband's name was, he didn't like you talking about that. She goes, oh, he's dead now, who cares?
That must be how you feel now.
Well, you know, I mean, obviously, I wouldn't wish anybody to be dead,
Right.
but you know, it's nice that I can go home and visit my family and, you know, walk in the house and things
Right.
like that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think my experience of being thrown out of the house by my parents for being trans is unique, but I would imagine it doesn't happen to people when they're in their 50s.
Right.
But that's what happened to me.
And you followed that story up with, you know, like forgiveness is a gift you give yourself.
Yeah.
And so like a long time ago, you figured out a way to forgive him for all that.
Yeah. I mean, it is a sort of like, I was just having a hard time getting my head around it because he did do many wonderful things for me, and I had a lot of good times because of him, and he was a very generous person. But, you know, at the end, he just couldn't. When I came out to him, he didn't speak to me for like 6 months. And at the end of it, I was like, what was the problem? He's like, well, I thought I should, you know, it's that generation of men who feel like it's their job to manipulate and control everyone and keep a damper on things. And he said he felt like he should have been upset, but he wasn't upset. He should have been shocked, but he wasn't shocked. And he should have felt bad about it, but he didn't feel bad about it, so he just didn't know what to say, so he didn't say anything. So for 6 months, I get this like silent treatment, you know? And then of course he was like, I moved to San Francisco, and he sent me this Christian literature about curing the homosexual, and I called him up and I read him. I was like, do not ever send me this kind of bullshit, ever. Don't waste a stamp on it. Don't send it to me because it's never gonna happen. You need to calm down. And he was like, oh, okay. And then when I had a boyfriend, he was really fine about that after a while. And it took him a while to get used to things, but the trans thing, no, he was not having it. He wasn't ready for that. I went home one time and he was like, and I didn't really know what to say. I'd come out to them as trans. And he was like, are you wearing a bra? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, why are you wearing a bra? That seemed like the right thing to do because I knew if I was there without a bra, my mother would get hysterical. So I was like, damned if I did, damned if I didn't. I didn't know what to say. I was like, it seemed like the right idea.
For people that didn't get to see you on Wednesday, when can we see you and where next?
Well, if you're in London, I'm going to be in London September 28th to October 22nd with Anthony Roth Costanza. We have a record that came out this year called Only an Octave Apart. He's the countertenor who just had a huge success at the Met in Akhenaten and Philip Glass and won a Grammy, which I was his date to the Grammys. And that was crazy. And we're doing our show there, Only an Octave Apart, for a month. And then I'll be doing my holiday show at Joe's Pub in December. And there are other things that might be announced soon, but I can't announce them yet.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
I'm always in New York in December. I'm coming to that.
No, not in September.
Oh, no, December. I'm sorry, I meant December. For the holidays.
Yeah, for the holidays.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here this
Oh
morning.
my God, it was my pleasure. I mean, I don't get up with just anyone that early, but I was like, oh, I have to put on my face. I didn't even realize it was on camera until 2 o'clock in the morning when I couldn't sleep because I was overstimulated from screaming about abortion. And you don't like the F word. They shouldn't have given me that mic. I saw people putting their hands over their children's ears as I went by because I was like, we're all gonna have abortions after the parade because I saw these guys dressed up as the Supreme Court judges, and one was Amy Boney Carrot, and I was like, she just said I can't have an abortion, and I demand my right for an abortion. Abortion's for everyone, and everybody would cheer, and that's all I need to hear, you know. So there are a lot of people in this town who are very pro-abortion, and I was happy to find that out.
Oh, Provincetown.
Provincetown is where it's at.
Get your abortions here.
Get your abortions.
I know. There's nowhere on Cape, but coming soon to a clinic near you on Cape Cod.
Oh my God. We're canceled.
On TikTok? TikTok abortions, they have those now.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Justin, Vivian,
My
Bond, for being
pleasure.
here. I can't wait to see you in New York in December.
Yeah.
And safe trip to London.
Thank you.
Thank you to all of our sponsors: Be Well Cannabis Dispensary, the Adam Howard Metal Workshop at 3 Bradford Street, ProjectValorSailing.org, Cafe Heaven, the Red Inn, the Provincetown Brewing Company,
Crown and Anchor.
and the Crown and Anchor.
Just a couple more things I just wanted to throw in. Today we're having an extra tough party here at the Provincetown Brewing Company, and then a Rainbow Connection party. Jimmy Lee's got her fashion show at the Commons tomorrow night.
Thank you
So
for
check
waking
'em
up in
out.
Provincetown.
Yeah, wherever you are.
We'll see you next Friday.
Good morning, everybody.